Hi everyone, meteorologist Matt Gray, and we have some interesting viewer video that I want to break down for you today in this edition of the Brainstorm. So thank you to James Johnson, sent me an email on Saturday morning and said, get a look at this. So he lives right where the Spokane River comes in to Lake Roosevelt, and well, look at this, folks. That is right. That is a waterspout. There is another video I'll show you here in a minute where you can see that it is kicking up water down on the surface of the lake there. And my goodness, what a cool thing to see especially on such a frigid day. It was supposed to be, which has been a pretty frigid week overall around the inland northwest. But man, this is just super cool video, super cool to see. Let's show you another video. Now it's a little grainy to start here, but watch as he zooms in. You'll notice a couple of things. You can see the funnel, you can see it kicking up all the water there, but you can also see all that steam rising up off of the lake. So we had some very cold air over the past several days, and yes, you can see there it is a lot warmer than the air when he took this early on in the morning. And that is going to be the key to what is happening here and why here we got this little water spout here in the deepest cold of November winter. I could watch this all day though. This is some really cool video just to kind of watch it all develop here. I'll loop it through one more time, and then we'll go in a little bit into why this happened. Obviously, a little bit of cloud cover, so a lot of moisture in the air with that low-hanging cloud cover, and probably some patchy fog around the region as well, and that may have even been fog earlier in the day. So you do need a moisture component here, so you can see that little funnel that comes up right there. But let's talk about why we're getting waterspout, this spinning vertical vortex, in the first place. So let's start off with something very basic. Cold air, it's denser than warm air. It sinks. Warm air generally wants to rise. Cold air generally wants to sink. And so as the slopes of the mountains cool down, as we go through the night, all that cold air, as it cools down near the ground, it starts to flow down to the bottoms of the valleys. It tries to find that lowest point. In fact, this creates something in certain situations called katabatic wind. If you have ever been to Yellowstone National Park and you have gone through Livingston, Montana, you will know what I mean, because coming down the valley there and emptying out right into Livingston is some of the wildest katabatic winds you will ever feel. And they have to pull trucks off the highway when it really gets going. So there you go. As the mountain slopes cool, cold air flows down into the valley bottoms. Now in this particular case, what is at the bottom? Lake Roosevelt. A much warmer area, a warm body of water, and is evaporating water out. It's heating the air above it, and so you've got rising air over the lake, and you've got cool air coming down either direction, right? So this is a setup to where you can get these types of water spouts. So essentially, you have cold air coming down one mountain slope towards the lake. You got cold air coming down the other side. They run into each other, right? So now you've got a boundary, and things can start to spin around because of that. Now, this graphic I'm showing you shows it from more tropical locations, because I think generally I'm from Florida, so people in Florida, you see a lot of water spouts through similar physics, but this is a little bit different case, obviously, here in the inland northwest. So there you go. So our changes in wind direction, all of a sudden things start to spin and rise at the same time. As they rise up where these masses of cooler air are colliding, you got the warm air below it, everything's rising up, but they're also running into each other, spinning around as they're going up. So now we have created the perfect conditions for a little water spout to show up. That rising air It is lifting that circulation towards the base of the cloud that you saw there in the video, and you didn't have far to go. And then you get that condensation wrapped up into it as the air rises up through the vortex. So that is how you get a water spout. This also can happen in certain situations on land. And we just call it a land spout or a cold air funnel, and it's just basically using dramatic temperature differences over a short period will cause the same thing. You want a little division line where things are different in the atmosphere. That air runs into each other, starts to interact with each other, spins around, and then all of a sudden we got a little funnel. So pretty neat to see overall, to see something like this, but it really is all about the warm water at the bottom of the valley and air rushing down to that, and then that rising motion up over the lake that creates this. And this is pretty cool. Thank you again to James Johnson for sending that over to me, and hopefully you all have enjoyed. Take a look at something pretty cool. You don't see this every day around here, and it's pretty neat that James got to capture it on video, and it looks like for a good time. Looks like it just took off down the lake for a good few minutes. So yeah, thanks again, James. That was super, super awesome, and I hope that you all have had a great time learning something a little bit different with things that are happening right now in the inland Northwest, or at least that happened this weekend. Go ahead and like the 4 News Now YouTube page. We will be posting these videos here every week, trying to dive a little bit into the science and the processes behind the weather and what is going on out there. I'm meteorologist Matt Gray for the Brainstorm video series. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.